Peace to you, brother. Brother Elbert, can you hear me? You muted, I think.
There we go. All right, yeah, everything's working. All right, thank you.
Try that one more time for me. It might be on my end. Peace to you.
Peace, fam.
All right, I can hear you now. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. You picked a good topic today. It's gonna make me
Think so?
Yeah, I gotta look in deep when I start talking about myself.
Uh-oh.
Well, I mean, it's cool. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's really all about self-examination.
Right.
Even when you look at the word, oftentimes it's used to look at somebody else, but the one, you think about the one he said, be merciful to me, a sinner.
Mm-hmm.
He had some self-examination while the so-called holy one was talking about how he fasts and how he thanked the Lord that he wasn't like this publican sitting next to him. Right. But the one that acknowledged his sin was more justified.
Yes, sir.
So self-examination, I always say the Torah in particular, the Bible in general, is a mirror. It's a mirror for us, showing us what we should do, how we should be. So hopefully it's fruitful. Hopefully somebody benefits from it. Peace to the brethren. How y'all doing?
Doing well, sir. How you doing?
Yeah, good, brother.
Peace, family.
Good.
Peace.
Peace to you. Peace to you.
Peace, everybody.
Peace
How y'all doing?
Good, brothers. How y'all doing?
Good, good.
Good. All right, we're gonna I guess brothers coming in here. Yep, here to go, brother Eula here.
But yesterday when we were talking about morality, just that was a hard one for me to. I understand what he was saying, but I was just wondering, morality. That's more of a, what would you say? It's subjective. It depending on the situation you in. If you don't have any actual guidelines, am I making any sense to you?
Yeah. Okay. So if there's no divine law to direct your morality, if you will, then it is subjective. It's based on man's opinion.
Okay.
And that was the gist of that argument, that if God doesn't exist, then morality is not objective. So therefore, rape can technically be justified.
Yeah, because that's why I was going over that scripture that Micaiah pointed out
in Romans 2.
Yeah, and I was like, man, I don't know how that applies in all situations, but I mean, it's
well,
in there.
It applies. Okay, so what it was referring to is that people can do things and they can do the right thing and know what's right before Torah even comes into the picture.
Okay.
Because their conscience tells them that. But see, in addition to your conscience, you also have a carnal nature. The carnal nature that pushes you and causes you to causes you to do certain things. Give me 1 second.
Right. Brother Eula, how are you?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Hey, brother, how you doing?
Checking in on you, man.
What's going on, brothers?
All right.
Peace to you. All right, well, we can go ahead and we got about 9 of us in here right now, so we can go ahead and get started. And I don't know if you remember the text I told when I sent out about what we'd be talking about. I did want to touch upon a couple things that's going on, and I wanted to ask your opinion about the mask mandate being lifted in Mississippi and Texas.
Texas.
Yeah. So I was gonna go around the room, if you will, and just pick your brain, see what you thought about that. And I start with Brother Elbert.
Well, I to be honest with you, I wear my mask when I go out in public, because from my research, it does not stop you if you have one on. It does not stop the whatever the microbes going through it. But what it does do is help my from what comes out of my mouth or expectorate from spreading as far. It's like people covering their mouth when they sneeze. So to be honest with you, I was at the grocery store and somebody got too close without a mask and I asked him to back up. So I know it's real because I've known enough people that had it.
Yeah.
So, it seems more political to me to gain points because of that deep freeze and he blew up all of Texas to try to gain favor or something because they're always using something to manipulate people's emotions. That's my feeling on it. But yeah, I would still like people to try to wear the mask myself.
Okay. Brother Willie, what's your opinion? I should have probably went to you first, brother. What's your opinion?
I think it's political.
Okay.
It's really not a smart move at this point. Being that I'm someone who actually came in contact with COVID, I do know it's true, it's real. It's not feasible. It just seems like it's one of those ploys to get people to need the vaccine. It's going to be like eventually it's going to raise COVID back up and then in that area. And it's going to be like, oh, well, the spread of COVID, it went from going down to now rising again. And, it almost is going to be like a fear mongering tactic to be like, look, we all have to get vaccinated possibly in order for this thing to go away. So I think it's another step towards making vaccine the hero. And that maybe not enough people are getting sick at this moment that they need to remove the mask to help people get sick. That's just the way I'm seeing it.
Okay, brother. I want to pull out something you said about you mentioned mandatory vaccine, but before that, am I understanding you and what you just said? You think it's a ploy so that we need the vaccine? I mean, that would be terrible if those numbers went up for that particular governor.
Yeah, I think that ultimately, my personal opinion, I still believe COVID was weaponized. And I think it was weaponized for this moment. I think that the vaccine was something that they've probably, this is just my opinion, they probably already had this stored up and just needed a reason to have the vaccine pushed. So,
okay, okay, you're talking about a few things. Let's put on our tinfoil hats for a second. Okay, so, so I was speaking specifically about that particular governor, Governor Greg Abbott. And
I'm not too familiar about his situation.
Okay, so what he did was he rescinded the statewide mask mandate, and basically, they had a capacity on certain businesses, I believe, so you could fill them up to 75%. It's told basically open on the 10th of this month. Everything is open. All the masks, you can throw that in the trash. You can come in, shop how you want, do what you want to do. And I'm saying if those numbers skyrocketed, or there were a preponderance of deaths related to COVID and how they're counting that's a whole nother issue. But I was just saying that would be terrible. That would be a terrible blow. So I don't think it's a ploy on his part. It may be political, but it's not a ploy I don't think it's a ploy to make us get a vaccine. That's what so I'm speaking specifically about him. Now, the part about you saying it being weaponized, if I put on my tinfoil hat, scratch that. If I put on my Sun Tzu, I put on my Sun Tzu, The Art of War, I feel like China won a war without shooting a shot. What they did is a lot of ways to wage war. They've been waging war in the United States through espionage and the stealing of technology, economic warfare. This was warfare. I mean, if I was looking at it through militaristic eyes, I would say that they've waged war and they haven't had to fire any pistol because they can't necessarily win that one. The cost will be too great. But you just destroy the economy, But now I'm gonna come back to you on what you said. I'm gonna go around so everybody get a shot. I'm gonna come back to something you said, brother Josh. What you think, brother?
Man, I don't know too much about that particular governor that you mentioned, but I did hear about them lifting the mandate for people to wear the mask. And you know, I don't know I don't know what to really say too much about it because I don't know much about it.
Gotcha.
But going as far as COVID, you know, I knew my daddy had it before. You know what I'm saying? We was living in the same house. You know, I went to go get tested. I didn't have it. I didn't catch anything. You know, I've been around somebody twice who supposedly had it. Well, actually 3 people, you know, who had it. The other 2 people, they didn't have no symptoms, but they went to go get tested, and it came back, you know, it was positive.
Mm-hmm.
I went to go get tested. I didn't have it. Not saying that I can't catch anything like that,
Superman.
but not saying that I can't catch anything like that, but I just think that it's you know, I don't know I don't know whether it was, you know, I believe that it was manufactured. I agree with a lot of things that Brother Willie has said, you know, about the vaccine, about that being a very, very big part of it. But I'm gonna stop right there.
I mean, we know that's money making. Not saying, I'm not even saying it. I'm not even referring to the effectiveness of a vaccine or whether or not to take a vaccine. At the end of the day, people have to make their own decision. What I am saying, I know that's a big business.
Yes.
A lot of money to be made in that arena. Brother Mo, what you think, brother?
I agree with the brothers, honestly. In my opinion, I think being kind of 6 feet apart makes a bigger difference than wearing a mask. From doing therapy and working in the airport, being surrounded with people for 8, 9 years or so, I've seen people contract the flu just from talking to somebody. So if you kind of just keep a distance from people, I think that'll be a better way than just putting a mask over your face. I think it's subjective, man. You know, if you want to wear it, fine. If not, you don't have to. But I just think people should kind of just just give everybody 3 feet. And I think that things will be a little better.
What are they doing in Georgia?
They haven't lifted the mask mandate yet. It's still kind of just in limbo. But they still have everything shut down. It's slowly starting to open up.
Yeah.
So probably within the next couple of weeks, we'll find out something. Yeah, Kemp hasn't said nothing yet, but I'm sure it's in the making.
Yeah. I was listening to a few brothers from Texas, and they were saying, like, you know, they were kind of lax in a lot of places on masks anyway. You know, I heard that, and I was like, oh wow, okay. So what could be news to us may not be necessarily, you know, that big. And I'm not saying that's all of Texas. Obviously, Texas is a large place, but in a lot of places they were saying, yeah, it's not really that, you know. That might have been that definitely is anecdotal, but they were saying it was not as you know, rich strict on the masks.
Yeah, exactly.
Brother Anthony, what you got, brother?
Hey, I'm sorry, man. I froze. I didn't hear the question, actually.
Okay, well, I'm gonna come back to you then. Brother Eula, what you think? What you think about the mask? Well, okay, so if anybody want to add, let me say this, who hasn't spoken yet. The question is, Governor Greg Abbott of Texas he rescinded the statewide mask mandate. He also opened up the state of Texas. And that's going into effect on the 10th. Mississippi follows suit as far as getting rid of the mask mandate. And my question to the brethren who haven't spoken yet is, what do you think about that?
Okay.
If you don't have an opinion on, that's cool. I just wanted to bring it up because it was something I saw.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I really don't have an opinion on that.
Okay. And nobody else. What about Brother Isaiah? Because in your neck of the woods, I just saw a church in Canada get fined 87. It was more than 80,000. I want to say it was 87, 89, if I'm not mistaken, but I think it was $87,000 for having more than 10 people in their congregation, at a meeting.
I haven't seen that article yet, but
Mhm.
it's heavily mandated up here, and I personally don't think the mask work is just psychological reassurance for the masses, because if we take New Zealand as a litmus test, right, we'll see that they're successful in isolating the ones who have it, right? Unfortunately, you have to say everything that governors and people and political leaders in America do is always political, right? And it could be driven by economical prayouts from the businessmen in the state. But it's when the fire know how it's hot, right? They know how what's going on. They know how the heat is, but it's political, economical, and frankly, I'm sick and fed up with the mask.
I am
Right,
too, brother.
and right now I'm at work, right? So I had to be in this mask all the time, and um, it's strange how nobody's telling you to take the flu shot anymore. Nobody's. It's like
Those
they
now they don't
were.
exist.
That's what I'm saying. Before the flu shot was this big money making thing for the same guys, right? Now, if you search up articles, these guys are dictating to countries how they must protect them when they give them the vaccine. So my opinion is it's political.
Yeah. When I saw Dr. John Hopkins say he had a mask on and was just saying, "Hey, I wear this to make everybody feel good. This does nothing."
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
said it might stop something. It's like if you throw some sand at a chain link fence.
Well, this week I wrote an email to my manager asking her to take me off the list because they're giving the vaccine and well every single coworker of mine took the vaccine.
Mm.
And it's strange because what ricochet in my head is like, the mark of the beast, the mark of the beast, how people rush into it without saying, wait, let's just examine this first. Right? So it kind of ringing bells about what's gonna happen in the future, how
The
people
mindset, the
behave.
way people
Yes.
think about it,
It's
yeah, it's not the
man,
mark of the
it's
beast, but we
scary. It's
understand they
yeah, I know
thinking. Yeah.
the thinking, right? It's scary because I sat there and when I got the email, I said to one of my coworkers, "Hey, they're calling us to get the vaccine," and she was jumping over my head to sign up and register, and I was like, "Wow, this gonna be it? This is how it's gonna be to eat
Yeah.
and to travel and to fly around the world."
Yeah. I
Man,
just saw Biden say that his priority for these states the state priority should be to get these teachers vaccinated. So what you laughing at, Austin? It ain't nothing funny. So I'm just looking at that and but I want to go back real quick to what brother Willie had. I want to pull out something he said as far as, and you really touched upon it just now, making things mandatory. What do you anybody have any thoughts about that? See anything in the future or any push that you're aware of as far as it being mandatory?
Um, I like I say, I work for FedEx. Um, and like I say, to my knowledge, me and my family, we ain't have it. Never had all my brothers and sisters except my little brother family has dealt with that. But everything every, everything that's going on, the Lord knows. I think it's real. Like I said, it probably purposely could have been put out here, but everything that is put out here, the Lord knows, and it goes by me. But I don't I just do what the Lord tell me to do. I obey and the word of God say obey the ordinance of man. So basically, I wear the mask. I go to work if it makes people feel comfortable here and there. But on the other hand, I know I'm not going nowhere unless Most High see fit. You know, it's my time. So, like I said, personally, I don't like everybody's in here worried about it. Of course, these non-believers gonna be flipping out and this and that. But like I said, I just obey the orders. I do what they ask me to do. Um, I don't think I'm um, more than anybody, you know. But at the same time, like even with my wife, I like to be helping her with her. Y'all said, look, I got faith in the Most High. Don't worry about a lot of stuff that people worry about. Now, if I wasn't walking in His way, I'd be worried about a lot. But other than that, like I say, all this other stuff that they, man, I just, man, like I said, I fear the Most High. I fear breaking His laws more than anything that's going on in this world.
Yeah,
Period.
and we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that in a second. As far as
So I'm sorry.
living. No, you good. No, you're not jumping the gun. That's just a segue to what the topic is. And the topic is, well,
mandatory vaccines.
no, the topic is living in in an unrighteous world.
I thought that was the last question you asked.
Yeah, that was the last question I asked. You wanna chime in on that or something before I go?
I'm opposed to anybody taking mandatory vaccines. The problem is a lot of times they make it a condition of your employment.
Mm-hmm.
I think when my children went to college, there were a couple shots that they had to produce records of taking. And when I spoke to them about taking this current vaccine, my daughter, who doesn't have any children yet, and my son, who don't have a child yet, are concerned about the long-term effects if they do have a child. Because, in the past, there was some ladies taking something that messed their babies up. So,
yeah.
I'm against the mandatory.
It's a lot of uncertainty.
Right.
Some people feel it was rushed. Some people feel, what are the long-term effects of something? How long it takes. I know this is a different vaccine, and people say, well, there's nothing. These are just regular ingredients. And I'm qualified. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not a specialist in this field. But I am starting to look into the autoimmune effect that it could have in the long run. And that's something that concerns me. And then how many shots are we gonna do this? How long are we gonna be doing this? How often are we gonna be doing this? So I am concerned about that effect. And the fact that somebody could tell you now, as far as the vaccines, and I've been in that situation before. They say it's mandatory, and but there are exemptions that you can have. See, what they say is mandatory, but to this point, there have been exemptions. You just have to force that issue, and you can be exempted. I've done that in college and at my job and different things like that. But anybody else have anything on that before we move on? No. Okay. So the night's main topic was. Well, let me ask you this. Hold on for a second. Who is iPhone 3? Who is that? Okay. Who is that? Who went incognito? Who is it? Who is
He took it.
Who is iPhone 3?
Said the government.
The government. That's the boys. That's the people. That's the agent. Man, they've been listening to us for forever.
Yes, sir. They have.
Let me tell you something. Let me just tell you something. They've been listening to everybody. They can listen to you real time to this thing. But that's
I know.
I'll tell you something. All these
I can prove it.
All these Israelite groups all been infiltrated.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one, everybody you think of.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of them got the peoples in there.
Mm-hmm.
One way or the other. Through informant or through agent sent. So that's can't worry about that. Not like we try to do nothing anyway. You can leave from dealing with us, cause I know. But who was iPhone 3? Who was that for real? Okay, go ahead and get kicked out. Who was that? Who was that?
Put him
I
out,
know
brother.
somebody sent
Put him out.
huh? Boot him out.
Yeah, you didn't ask them 3 times to identify themselves.
Ain't nobody got time for that, man.
Why? Hey, brother, you in charge. You said, you know.
Yeah, I'm for real. Like, who is it?
Right.
Hold on. Let's say. Oh, okay, that was that last one. He sent himself from the government. I thought Steve might have put something in the chat before I kicked him out. Okay. Oh well. So the question is, the main question is, what's the biggest impediments or barriers from living righteously in an unrighteous world? What's the most difficult part of trying to walk upright in this world, in a society where we know clearly is contrary to God?
I would say the one of them definitely is the denial of the flesh.
Okay. Go ahead and explain, like, what, pull that out. What do you mean?
I mean, the way that this world is, like, everywhere you look, you know, they're sexualizing everything. They sexualize boxing. You know, after every round, there's a half-naked woman walking around.
Oh, okay.
Holding the sign. It's
I'm like, okay, we're saying.
I'm just saying everywhere, like, you know, they say sex sells.
Oh yeah.
You know, and they constantly pushing it. They're pushing it in the videos, and they after the mind of the youth.
Yeah. Yeah. Hypersexualization is a big one. You know, I was looking at I don't know if you heard it. They changing in Washington, the NFL. You talking about sports? The NFL, they're changing their cheerleaders. You heard that? They're gonna make them co-ed.
Wow.
Yeah, because they had some sex scandal a couple years ago. They're trying to change their image, and they had some other things going on. And then there was some teams that I want to say they had their first gay cheerleaders at a football game. I can't remember what team that was, but yeah, hypersexualization is I mean, is everywhere. It's everywhere. So that's you bombarded by it, you know, from where you see it in the media to where you see it with people. Well, yeah, definitely, absolutely. Anybody else want to add on that or chime in?
I just my thing is, it's funny he say that. It's a couple of things with me. Now, as far as, like, say it is crazy when when sisters, and when I mean sister, I'm just talking about in general.
Right.
Yeah, and sisters, when they can make a whole song calling themselves a prostitute, and nobody sees nothing wrong with that. I'm like, wow, this is where we got to. And then, and when people mock, okay, that's fine, but people gonna mock the word of God says that. But when Muzz play with me, and like one guy, but I met, hey, I gave him something to think about. I said, man, y'all sit here. I said, you sit here to my, we're like, oh man, you eat that swine, man. I'm eating this, I said, listen here, brother. Everything is all funny and all funny and games right now. You think this is a game? You think the Lord is playing with that? I can't say everything I said to him, but at the same time, it's just how everybody think. They think the Lord is a game. He think this is a joke. It's just the arrogancy of man. Period. They just think this is a game. I said, but like I say, far as to where I was and where I am now, I just, I just knowing this word of God and knowing what we know that this thing is for real. we we got this understanding where we can see this thing coming through. But like I say, man,
It's still difficult, and I want to expound or not expound, but
They kicked out one of the brothers because he. Oh, sorry.
huh? Yeah. I already know it was Brother Wayman. Yeah. That's who it was. I'm like, and I saw him. I was out in the supermarket today, and I ran into him. I'm like, man, you need to come in that meeting. And I said, what? He said, I was on there. I said, wait a minute, when was you on it? He ain't say nothing. Now he come on here, he ain't say nothing. He probably didn't know how. But I saw him a few hours ago. And so, did you tell him to come, Brother Austin? You told him to come back? Okay, cool. But what you were saying, brother, just a prime example. You was talking about the songs and what you call it. Man, I'm watching. I just saw this today too. Meg Thee Stallion. You saw that interview with Maxine Waters?
I heard something about it.
That was some bad advice she was giving.
Okay. Pull that advice out, brother. What was she saying? Because I didn't get to see all of it. I was shocked. It was literally like maybe 15 minutes, and not even 15 minutes before we started. I had just come across it. What was she telling them?
I had seen a brief clip of it, and she was telling Meg Thee Stallion to like do her.
Yeah, I saw that foolish.
Don't worry about nobody else and what nobody else is thinking about you.
Mm-hmm.
And just things like that. And I was like, why is she interviewing Meg Thee Stallion though?
Brother. It's like back in the day, an elder woman would have tried to correct her.
Yeah.
In love would have tried to correct her. Like, that's not how you should be carrying yourself. Let me tell you this. Let me pull your coattails on this. Let me tell you something. Number one, a stallion is a male horse.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Worry about that name. Secondly, you carrying yourself. And then she was talking about, from what I saw, she was talking about respect. But I'm like, but she's disrespecting herself and not worrying about what people think. But we actually should be worried about what people think. You should be worried about what these little girls think of you. You should be worried about how you portray yourself to men. You should be worried about all that. I'm a full proponent. You need to bring shame back. But what else you had on that?
She was also saying like she had mentioned some other things too, but it was just crazy to see how old she was, and then in the position, the power, the position that she was in it's crazy.
Yeah, senior member of the House of Representatives talking to Meg Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
It's insanity. Kind of like when Cardi B was interviewing Joe Biden. To me, that's just, they talk to us like we stupid.
Yeah.
They talk to us like we stupid. But anybody else had something on that? Brother Willie, you had something?
Or Meg Thee Stallion in them?
What were you about to say? I thought you were saying something. Was that?
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was talking to my wife and I wasn't muted.
Oh, okay.
You was asking the question about how difficult it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say hardest part of me now is watching because my environment, because of I'm trying to dial back the aggression that I had from like playing sports and then working in that all male field that I was in.
And if people don't know, if you want to say what it was, you can.
Well, okay, firefighter, because it's just men in there, and it's real aggressive to run in the houses and stuff. Everybody's amped up trying each other, but it's like the world has gotten so mean that as I try to dial back my personality and become a more humble a person and not, it just seems like when you go out the door, no matter where you go, it's like somebody's just being rude or inconsiderate, and it brings stuff back out of you that you're trying to, at least in myself, that I'm trying to get rid of. Like you said, when you asked the question a couple of weeks ago to brothers, if you could go back and tell the young you something, I would try to tell myself not to be changed by the world. Because the environment you in, it's like almost like change or be chewed up by it, especially growing up in an aggressive atmosphere.
Right.
That's the hardest thing for me is trying to dial it back and be humble, because I've seen other people do it, you know. So that's what I'm always working on. Does that make any sense to you?
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. But you know, what you talking about is called toxic today to a degree. I understand what it's called masculinity. You know, some of that is just masculinity. You know, and part of, you know, I understand what you're saying, like as far as people being rude and inconsiderate, you know, but some of that, like masculinity, what you're talking about is necessary, because that masculinity, it built the world that we living in. It cut that underbrush, it built the cities, it built the buildings, it paved the roads, it did all of that. So that's necessary. That's definitely necessary. And I see that's something that's frowned upon today. I think that's one of the major problems today, which is also leading us in the wrong direction as a society and makes society harder to live in, is because we've thrown masculinity away. You know, because masculinity will also keep you on, if directed appropriately, will keep men and the male children, female children, everybody on the right path.
Right.
That's the line with the man. He talking. You got to do it, you know, you got to adhere to what he's saying. So, but I understand what you're saying, brother. That because disrespect could pull that out of you. You're like, hey, what's going on? I'll crush you out here. But
which ain't good if I'm trying to walk correctly, you know.
Yeah, I understand. I understand what you're saying. Anybody else has something on that?
Yeah, I got something, bro. I'll make it quick. Lack of knowledge, brother, to me is foremost at the front of our problem.
Others people lack of, as a people.
As a people, as humanity. We don't, you know, we as Israelites have failed to do our job. Of course, we know, and the rest of the world is the result, and we're looking at the result of it. But everything that's coming out of humanity, and like we say, like you touched upon yesterday with Nietzsche, and you know what I mean. Basically, it's up to you. This is a lawless world. And without any laws and true, you know, objective morality, we're looking at a society that's just, it feels like the purge every day. It's like, you know, the purge, at least the movie, was one day out the year. It seems like we're living in the purge every day. You know, all the news reports, all the stuff that's going on around you, you don't really see any true order anywhere. So I can't see how anyone's going to get it right if they don't know what's right. What is to get right? Get right where? You know, it's subjective. Once again, if you don't have that base, and if your base ain't right and founded in the Most High, so we're walking around, we're all a time bomb at that point, and just waiting for the next mishap to take us out. So lack of knowledge for me is like the number one thing. I think when you know better, you do better. When nobody knows the next step,
brother,
you can't do no better.
It's weird because at least what I see from my perspective, I'm seeing everybody that's going in the wrong direction morally had the loudest voices, right? And then they're actually taking the moral high ground for something that's immoral. You know, like I heard Charlemagne, the guy, he was doing something. It was giving a report. It was a donkey. I didn't even listen to it, but I cut it off immediately after what he said. That's a show I don't really listen to at all. Actually, I can't stomach it. But you know how the video goes from one to the next. It just went to that. I'm listening, and he about to do donkey of the day, and he was like, in the world. He started off saying like, I'm paraphrasing, in the world to where everybody want justice and rights, and we going forward. In the world where, you know, transgenders, they want their rights. Homosexuals want their rights. Women want their rights. You know, it was just like what you're talking about as far as quote unquote rights is actually immorality. You know, these people had the largest voices. They are the ones that's pushed by media. And I think and I'm not saying even because most people are not in the word, but a lot of people know certain things are incorrect, but they quiet because they have been tricked into thinking that they're being quiet is gonna save them from having to deal with it. It ain't got nothing to do with me. No, it's gonna have everything to do with you because they're gonna push it everywhere you look. They're gonna desensitize you with it, and they're gonna push it in front of your kids, and you gonna have to deal with it. When you turn on Arthur and you got two little rats or whatever getting married, it's an issue. How do you explain that to your children? When you send them to school and it's homosexuality is throughout the curriculum, you know. I was just reading this article today. This is just the madness today. This is out of the Hill. This was the Biden administration withdrew federal support for lawsuit against the state of Connecticut seeking to prohibit it from letting transgender athletes compete in girls' sports. You know, so what did you have there? You had, of course, two biological males, you know, engaged in women's sports. You look at the Equality Act, you know, so you getting bombarded on every side. You get legislation. Look at some of these people that he's trying to get appointed. You know, you got legislation. You look at the media and what's pushed in Hollywood. You look at the school systems, particularly higher education. Like Brother Austin, what were you reading yesterday? You called me about Soul on Ice and then just went somewhere else with it.
That was Lost in the Kiss. They said Eldridge Cleaver was a homosexual. Yeah.
Eldridge Cleaver was a leader of the Black Panther Party, a journalist, leader of the Black Panther Party. He wrote Soul on Ice. Okay. Now what class was that for?
That was for Black masculinity.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man. They're teaching the opposite.
Yeah, of Black masculinity, right?
Why is that a class in college anyway?
Black masculinity. That's gender. You know, it's a lot of gender studies classes. You got feminism, which is pushed wholesale, extreme. Radical feminism is pushed wholesale, which is why we seeing what we seeing. That's why you got a Cardi B. That's why you got a Meg Thee Stallion. That's why he has slut walks.
It don't even be like a lot of feminism that I see that's taught in school is like taught through like African history and Black history, stuff like that.
And they got it now.
Class.
Color purple.
Targeting Black people with the Black history classes.
Yeah, they say like some of the feminists that be in there, they'll say like gender came from slavery, patriarchy came from slavery. And just all different type of other crazy stuff, man. It just
like Black Lives Matter. You saw the one where they had the sister up at the Washington Monument and different places in DC twerking, talking about this is black. They tweeted that. You didn't see that? Yeah, talking about this is just an African dance. We want to bring this back, and she out there twerking in front of the Washington Monument. This is Black Lives Matter official on their official I guess
and
Twitter
you gotta
page.
call them what they say they is. If you know they're a man, you have to call them female. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'd rather not say anything to him. I have this transgender and he okay, fella, you know, as long as you don't ask me nothing the wrong way, you know. But he okay. I mean, work together. I don't even know. I just rather not, because I always say to everyone, Gentile, Hebrew, whatever, I say, what's up, brother? What's up, sister? I'm not gonna say what's up, sister, and the man is a brother. So I'd rather just say, hey, how you doing? And this, and hopefully it don't slip, you know, because they'll make a big issue out of that. When he considered himself as a female, so you gotta call him. I ain't calling him nothing. But I'd rather either call him his name or like I say, hey, how you doing? But I'm not gonna call him a female when he's a male. So
yeah, a lot of the staff that's at my school, And if you're a student and you work for the school, you have to learn gender pronouns. You have to refer to they. Well, if you don't, I guess you get fired. But if a person wants to be called a he or she, you have to refer to them that, even if there's not their sex. And a lot of teachers, they forced to conform to it, but and they don't like talking about it. They don't like talking about it. It's crazy.
Yeah, because it's a they
Mafia.
want their job.
Yeah.
Too Short said there's a mafia. He said if you talk about
Absolutely,
you
brother.
talk about it too long, you get in trouble.
I think that might have been that wasn't Too Short.
Oh, okay.
Was it Too Short? You talking about a few years, some years ago,
I
like a Vlad? Was that Noriega?
Oh, that's another one that said it too. Yeah.
Maybe okay. So Too Short
He
said it
said
too. Let me say that, man. That if you read the gay rights platform, what 1972, everything is accomplished except for pedophilia
Right.
being legal.
Right.
You read After the Ball, and you see the blueprint of how this all took place.
Mhm.
So, and when you get to that, the man, brother, it's a mess. It's a mess out here. People, again, you thinking, oh well, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna be protected. No, matter of fact, you're gonna lose all your rights, and you're gonna have to. You're gonna basically capitulate or take a stand, brother. Anthony, you had something to say, brother? I see your hand up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to add to what y'all were talking about. It brought me to think about the fear of God. I think that's the biggest thing that's gone is, no one fears God. They all think, they're just going to get forgiveness. All they got to do is pray, different things like that. And even people who know the scriptures, if it's just something that, so then they start to bring up the word interpretation. That's just how you interpret it. I don't believe that's the way God is going to operate.
It's not up to private
I think if
interpretation,
people
but they
had
will
the
use
fear,
that.
yeah, if people had the fear of God, it would make things so much easier. I was having that discussion just the other day, just with my wife, just letting her know, those are the things that help keep the peace. You just follow His laws because you want to respect Him first. You want to respect God first. So I just think that's the part that's really lost.
Yeah. There's no reverence for God. Yeah, absolutely. In no way, shape, or form. What you say, brother?
I was gonna say that I think that one of the things that I struggle with is just understanding the value of what I have, because when you serving the Lord and you're younger, people often look at that as like a weakness. I see that a lot, especially when I tell them, like, I can't even have the same conversations with people. If I tell somebody I'm a virgin, the first thing that they think is like, oh, he must be a homosexual or something like that, something crazy, something off the wall. And so it'd be stuff like that just be like, man, like, you're not doing the same stuff as people, so you got to understand what you have.
Yeah, that's a whole nother. You in an extreme situation being on a college campus.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I didn't had to. It's been situations where I've had to like just remove myself out of a lot of heated situations. A lot of heated situations. Not nothing that like I'm about to fight nobody or nothing like that. But it's been times where I've been enticed by women, stuff like that, and I just had to get up out of there, So
I'm proud of you, brother.
Yeah.
I wanted to say the same thing, man. God bless you, bro.
Yeah.
Trying to hold tight, man.
You're stronger than I've ever been growing up. Whew.
Yeah, and don't his brother. Brother, yeah. Hey, don't you said something about the other day about when we was talking about mate selection. You said virgin, that say something about the sister. Man, when you find one, don't fold on that one now.
Yeah.
You done done what you done done. You got to do the same thing now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah, don't fold, brother. Hold a high standard.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, but that's something because that's rare. Shoot.
For a minute, I thought he was going to talk to you about the temptation of material possessions. Because
Oh,
I watch people, well, you already know that one. I watch people rob Peter to pay Paul without even telling Peter he taking it.
oh yeah. Well, you don't tell him if you robbing him now. You just rob him now. You just you don't make no announcement.
Right, but so that seems to be a big problem that we have too, putting ourselves or competing in this world of materialism that's constantly being promoted. And we end up getting ourselves into a trap to where we start doing things that's against the law,
Yeah,
against
yeah, because we value things more. So that's our God.
right.
You know, the mammon. That's our God. With material things. That's pushed heavy, and that's what we put value in. You know, if you don't have it, if you're not driving this, you're not wearing this. Even you see that with young people. It's like, man, you see kids being in, they getting. It's funny because you see a lot of times few generations back, grew up with nothing. My father used to talk about how he needed new shoes, man. He used to take the policy numbers. That was the illegal lottery out there, and put that up in the shoe in the hole when there was a hole in the shoe, and keep walking. Man, he tell me some of the stories about how they was living. I said, man, what third world country was you in? But it was 10 of them. You know, they had a bathroom that was communal. You know, few families in the building sharing one bathroom. But you know, that generation, like my generation, and the ones that's definitely now, they instill a lot of times they don't instill the kids with values, they just give them stuff. You got TV, you
Teenagers up
got
here.
PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you got Xbox, you got all this stuff, you know, $1,000 phone, but you don't have a sense of who you are, you don't have a sense of what right and wrong is really.
Right.
So yeah.
And
Yeah, brother Isaiah, your hand up, brother. You had something?
Yeah, brother. One of my struggles is if I don't come here, I don't meet people like myself
Mm.
with the same accord. It's rare to find that outside. That is one of my struggles. I after I found out the truth, I can't stop talking about it to Tom, Dick, and Harry. And you guys mentioned the backlash you would get for talking to people about it. But here there's no one, man, and it's scary. Right? If I don't come on and talk to you, I have a couple of brothers I call on the phone, but there's no one who want to talk about God. You can't even say God to people. Right? And it's a struggle amongst that's one of the struggles I feel. I have many struggles that we talked about, how women dress and you know, coming from a life where you were like, that was it, finding the next best girl, and then changing, you know, cold turkey because you found out that true and living God exists. You learn things that you shouldn't do, that you, when you reflect, you say, you know, why did someone didn't teach me that before? Mm-hmm. And now you're trying to do it, but then the environment around you is so toxic. And you look for someone like you, right? And I have you guys, and I'm grateful to have guys who talk the same thing, who worship the same God, the same way, you know, no pollution from some other culture, but just the right way. And that is one of my struggles right now. That's why I shop here every day. Every time we have some session, I shop because it's rare. It's like Haley's Comet, man. You only see it in a lifetime. What happened to us? What happened to our people? What happened to that so-called spirituality that they're talking about, that we had and slaves had? How come we know so immoral? If you don't see us as homosexual in movies, the girls are prostitute. Why? And these are my struggles. These are the things that you know, I see every day, and I didn't see these things before. I'm gonna tell you the truth. This was what we rejected now was normal and was okay until the word came and slapped you in your face, right? And it pains. I'm telling you, brothers, it pains when you can't talk to your wife about it. You can't talk to your coworker about God. You know, it's. But they will tell you, you know, your coworkers will tell you, you know, this person is gay. And when you say this, when you say, man, being gay is wrong, they'll tell you, oh, you know, you're a hater. No, I don't hate that person because
Not out of hate.
adultery is wrong.
Right.
Adultery is wrong. A thief is
Exactly.
wrong. It's the action. And you know being ostracized for something that was legislated, not something that God gave, something another man said is legal. And that's my struggle. My struggle is I can't find ones like us. I can't. Like it's hard. And you meet brothers on the street corner and they fighting down Jesus and telling you, you know, they're the only ones that are going to heaven. You know, well, in the kingdom.
Right. You ain't going to heaven.
So
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, brother, that's a huge one. I think isolation. You know, if you're not in a place where you can congregate with people, and then even if you are in a place, you can still feel isolated because that congregation only meets at certain times where the most of the time you spend with other people. I've been thinking about that quite a lot, and well, I'll talk about that a little later as far as what I think may be a solution. But yeah, you see it. It's like, man, you feel isolated. You don't feel like anybody, even though it's a bunch of people going through the same thing you are, you're not coming into contact with them. They're not the ones you see every day. You know, you on your job isolated. You know what I mean? All day long. And you come home, and if you're in a home where it's like is everybody not on the same page when it comes to the word, that's a challenge. Yeah, that's huge. Yeah, I'm thankful I'm not in that situation as far as like, you know, in the home where you got refuge in your home. But then if you like, you don't have it in the home, you don't have it at the job, you don't have it when you look at the world, when do you have it? That's difficult.
Brother, you remember when I was good, I went home 2 years ago and I called you and you sent some books to me, right?
Yeah.
And one day, you know, I met some friends and it wasn't Sabbath, we in the bar. And we in this bar, we drinking and we talking to the bar owner. He knew me from before. And I gave him, we were talking about it and he was so interested, right? This guy was locked on, asking question after question, and I telling him and I giving him. I even wrote your number in the book and gave it to him. You know, while we there talking, his wife or girlfriend or concubine, whoever, came in the band, turned up the music. And another friend who he is in the world, but he's following some other person. He looked at me. So I didn't realize what's going on. The guy now turned and tell his girlfriend, turn down the music. And we start again talking about God and the Bible and what is right, what is wrong. You know, the whole, everything we talked about here, you know, you talk it to other people so they could get it. Mm-hmm. Second time, this man, wife, or whosoever she was, turn up the music again, killing out what we were saying. And the other guy touched me and he said to me, you see this? You see what I'm saying? This is the devil right here. This guy listening, this guy, and this is the problem. People so distracted with the wrong things. People so lost that, you know, man, it's a hard thing. It's painful because that guy, you guys are my brothers. Gentiles are brothers too, right? Heck, I could have born a Gentile. Any one of us here could have born a Gentile. But we're in this situation where might be a Gentile, right? Every one of us had to seek God, and nobody, not a soul, except the ones here. And when you say you're Hebrew Israelite, man, you're an outcast. I can't even tell these people I walking with I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Because I'll be treated as outcasts. It ain't the time for them yet.
Yeah.
you know, so it's painful. That's the struggle I have here right now. It's not even so much the flesh and the other things. It's just where can I don't have peace. Where can I have peace talking about God? Except for you guys. And I cherish every one of you, man. Every time you log on, I listen to your stories. I learn. I make mistakes. I learn. And I praise God. I'm in this. No turn back.
All praise the Most High,
Right?
bro.
So that's it. It's my struggle right there with you all.
Yeah. Just what you were saying about, and I've had that happen quite a few times where like you'll talk to somebody, you're talking to somebody about the word, and then out of nowhere, seemingly out of nowhere,
How
that
to know?
somebody will interrupt and they will be drawn to the conversation just to put a thorn in what's going on. And that's on the spiritual level. You see what's going on when you read about the parable of the sower, the seed, and how Satan will come up, and just take it. I've seen that. I remember the first time that happened, I was, because I was real zealous coming up, when I first came into it, I'm talking to everybody. I was talking to this sister about the word at my job, you know, she's like, oh, wow, man. She was, really excited for about a day. Cause she went home and she said, yeah, I went home and just so happened that my whole family was in the living room. I think a pastor was in there. And then I told them what you were saying and they just, oh, that ain't right. And they snatched everything that was there. So yeah, that will happen. And you also think about, you think about Job's wife.
Yeah.
And how she said, just thou still retain that integrity, curse God and die, saying verbatim what Satan wants. So in both instances, you see Satan working. Yeah, things are going on the spiritual plane. And a lot of times, yeah, we think, it's funny because your natural eye and everything is telling you too that this is so small what we're dealing with, because it's small in number. You isolated, people rejecting you, but it's the biggest thing in the world. It's the most important thing in the world. It's it's more pertinent than anything that's going on and that ever will go on. Is this word and salvation? This one way we walking. So, I think about that, but yeah, that isolation is something, man. Because I even think about like, which I understand it now to a degree. That's not because like I don't deal with nobody as far as like my cousins, I grew up with. It was like, brother, I don't deal with them, or like my best friend in college and high school. Um, you know, so the interactions that I have of substance with brethren is really y'all, But I'm I'm secure in my solitude. I understand it, I understand, so I'm good with it. But I understand, yeah, you like, man, you feel isolated. Yeah, yep.
I don't even bring it up anymore to a lot of people because of the backlash you get from it.
Oh yeah, people don't want to hear that.
Right.
You talking about the word, right? You don't bring the word
Right,
up.
the word, right.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you're like, man, I want. Now it's one thing if you say, hey, I want to hear what you got to say, or I'm interested in what you say. Man, I sit with you till the sun come up, and some more. But I just don't go around. I don't just get on the bus with a bullhorn and just say, I don't do that. I just don't. But yeah, I think as far as
I just,
but
I do.
but see, that's the thing too. You got to be responsible for what you're saying too.
Yeah.
So that's a thing that I think like a lot of times when brothers they really want to, they zealous, which is cool, but you understand you're responsible for what you're saying. And like them, but like for example, you see a lot of cats on the street, man. That's a lot of that stuff wrong. It ain't just wrong a little bit. No, it's man, it's you know, the whole what's your nationality type deal. And I'm not saying you doing that. I'm just saying like that's a lot of stuff they're saying is like it's salvation issues they're dealing with.
Yeah,
You know,
they
you basically you look at some of these groups, they basically teaching justification through law, the adherence of the law. You know, because you're saying you ain't got to be baptized. They say other people can't be saved. You know what I mean? Calling the white man the devil. Man, you giving the white man too much credit. Devil, ain't no devil. He might have, been a child of the devil like you. But but other than that, yeah, so it's just you know, like I think YouTube, even though it's a lot of garbage on YouTube, the vast majority of it's trash, there's an outlet to where if you wanted to find it, you can find some truth. You can find some truth. But ain't nothing wrong. I mean, evangelism is something you see it in the word. I mean, that's good to do. So don't get me wrong. But saying that, it come with response. Any teacher come with responsibility. You have to give an account for what you say, because people's souls on the line. It ain't no stock tip.
Right. Most of it's just testifying, I think, though. At least generally, that's what I'm testifying to what he's done to me and how he changed my life, as opposed to, and then I show him why I do what I do according to the Bible. Mm-hmm. And that's still rejected, But yeah, so
he said, I've given them that word, the world has hated them.
Right.
They hated him, so they ain't trying to hear what you got to say. Now, if you was coming out, if you was talking that same talk, and you was saying for example, if you was out in the streets, and then you came into the Christian church, everybody would love it. Mm. The so-called Christian church, everybody would love it, but that's not the truth in that though. See, they don't want. It's the truth they got a problem with.
You talk about something negative. You talk about something negative, they hear that all day.
Oh yeah.
All time.
Oh yeah.
The problem I see a lot of times is like they'll keep all the commandments, but then you say Sabbath day, they got a problem with the Sabbath day, right? They just pick out those little one item or one thing, and it's a problem. Or if you're talking to someone who before you got into the word and you're talking to them about it because it's something that they may have initiated in some form, like, yeah, man, God gonna take care of it. I that's what I notice that all the time now. Like I always pick up on that as soon as somebody says, God got it. Or, they'll just say something like that. And, I've gotten to the point now where I don't respond to it. But that used to be like a segue for me to kind of tell them about the truth in living God, I'm talking about close friends or family, something like that. And they your friends, man, what a real Anthony at, And
right. What we used to know.
Family, your family, they like, nah, man, I'm gonna eat my shrimp,
That's like we was talking about earlier, Brother Elbert, when I said that, it's about transformation. See, like he said, where the old Anthony at? That's because he's not the same person. You're not the same person. Don't you was talking about? I'm not the same person. That's what the word will do. It'll transform you. Now, grant it'll transform you into a person that the world hates, because the world is contrary to God. You understand? And you trying to be like God. You're trying to be like Christ. That's really, when you really understand, Christ is our standard for how a man should walk. That's a heck of a standard. They said, walk before me, be thou perfect. He is our standard. One who walked without sin and was obedient even unto death. And see how the world treated him. So we really shouldn't be surprised. And that's another thing. He was tempted in like manner like we were tempted. Satan came unto him directly and said, hey, I'll give it all. So if you just bow down and worship me, you got some people give up their eternal soul for $1 million. Pair of Jordans. These the
pork chop.
Huh? What'd you say?
A pork chop.
Good pork chop, man. I love pork chops, man. You know, that's
Man, that was my favorite.
say again, brother.
That was my favorite, pork chops.
Pork chops.
Hmm.
Yeah, fried pork chop, hot sauce.
Some hot sauce. Yeah. Man, you stop eating that stuff, man. That stuff start to stink when you smell it. You go in somebody's house and they cook that stuff smell terrible. It show you how crazy we was though. I didn't do that. I wasn't no chilling either. But you walk in somebody's house and it smell like the sewer broke, and then you go sit down and eat. Like, what is that? Oh, goodness, boy, you don't know nothing about that. I'm like, man, it smell like doo-doo. But yeah. And you sit down and eat it, put some hot sauce on it. Ugh. Yeah. Yep. Now quick, we're gonna end it shortly. I was gonna ask one other question. What do y'all brothers think as far as a solution to your issues of living in a world that is contrary to God? Like, what do you think? What do you think should be the approach, individually and maybe even collectively?
Focusing. When I'm focused, I don't even be thinking about anything but just what I'm focused on. And that's focusing on God, focusing on what I'm supposed to be doing as far as like just school or just any task that I have at hand. So just focus. I wake up in the morning and then my day be over with by the time I know it, just because I'm just focused. So.
Purpose says we stand focused on what you got to do.
I'll piggyback on that. I noticed that when I get off track, I start thinking about it. What could I do to help myself to stay focused? And I realized that it helps me a lot, man. When I read Exodus 20 every morning, it helps me, to prepare myself. I would say, I guess, for battle, kind of so to speak, each day when I walk out the house. So I just do that in the morning, and it helps me a lot.
Okay. Anybody else with that?
I would.
Yeah, I would.
Go ahead, brother.
I was about to say, I definitely agree with reading the scriptures more, because that's the only way a young man could change his ways.
Yeah.
And so I definitely agree with that. I do find strength within reading the word, but if I'm not reading it as much, then I get weak. If I'm watching things for entertainment and things like that, it really does help you focus upon. Well, I also agree with Brother Austin too about focusing up on that goal. You trying to live a righteous life and things like that, and Jesus definitely did the example for that. He denied the flesh. So that's what I particularly struggle with. Denying the flesh and things like that. I do believe in reading the word, and to really change my mind from how I think about things, because growing up, saying just growing up a certain particular way, it don't happen overnight.
Oh yeah, especially you exposed to a lot. The most sin you do,
right?
The hard it is to come. You're like, wait a minute now.
Yeah.
I remember this. That's what I say. You talk about bit of verse. That's something, man, that you didn't been a heavy fornicator. Then you trying to walk, upright. That could be, because you remember.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or you've been exposed to whatever it is. And I agree with you, brother, as far as like, your thoughts, because that's what a battle is won and lost, the plane of the mind. That's, I think about it all the time, saying two thoughts can't occupy the same space at the same time. If you constantly focus on the word, focus on spiritual things, you're more likely to cast out those thoughts that are from the flesh or from that wicked one. But if you don't have the word, then you liable to think and do anything.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
One of the things I do when I encounter issues, I always keep saying Philippians 2:5. Let this mind of Jesus be in you. Let this mind of Jesus be in you. You know, and think about the things that put that force as one of the tools or one of the weapons in my toolbox. You know,
Yeah.
just keep this mind of Jesus in you and overcome. So
Yeah.
that's one of the things I use throughout
Yeah.
the day.
Yes. I think I pray a lot too. Like throughout the
Yeah,
day. I mean, it's 3 set time. I pray when I wake up. I pray at noonday. I pray, you know, at night. But then, like all during the day,
Mhm.
gotta pray. Yeah, brother Elbert and brother Willie. I thought one of y'all was saying something both at the same time.
Go ahead, Willie. Go ahead.
All right, brother. Go ahead, sir. I'll come
No,
after you.
I was going to say the one thing that Brother Isaiah talked on it is the fellowship, and fellowshipping with brothers in the same mindset. Because I quit running or even going places with a lot of the guys I grew up with or that I used to work with because of the environment. They would always want to meet at a bar or something, and so I won't do that anymore. And a lot of the other guys I won't run with because the conversations devolve into debauchery, and I don't want to be part of that anymore. So, like you said, the fellowship and I can't and stand away from people who could, help tempt me go the wrong way.
Yeah, that makes sense, brother.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
company is a big thing. You end up doing the same things that the people you around, you end up doing what they doing. Yeah, brother Willie, you was gonna add.
Uh, yes. Definitely. Staying consistent. With reading and that's the beautiful thing I think about following this particular or believing in this truth is that even if you weren't as active as we are, I think that we're kind of an active group. We stay busy about at least 3-4 times a week, on Zoom. But at least you got the Sabbath in our belief. You know what I'm saying? And what we do, there's at least once a week. I don't believe the average Christian is opening his Bible once a week, at least once a week, and really digging in for that whole day, until the sun from sun up to sundown, can't binding itself to that day for the Lord. So I think that just being in this faith alone has brought me closer to the Word of God because it gave me more time. It gave me more time to be available to seek out God. This is my day. And that also the fear of the Lord, what I've come to learn. And lately I've just been in the house sick. I just recently caught, right after COVID, I caught pneumonia. So I'm back in the house. So I'm watching movies, and I'm watching a lot of superhero movies and things like that. And I'm just saying to myself, I see a lot of the dialogue behind it. Some people, a lot of these people know God. Some of these people know of what God's plans are, and they're putting them in movies subliminally. Some
Put this
things.
hat on again. Why you?
There it is. Subliminally, there's some things being said that people who don't know.
Give me
the
an example,
book.
bro.
I watched X-Men Apocalypse. And I don't know if you guys seen this, and this dude's calling himself Elohim in the movie. I mean, and saying I just want to make you guys great. The bad guy was supposed to be God in this movie. You understand? And when you see that they were fighting to stop God from ending the world because of its wickedness, if we know the Bible, and I'm not, saying they were accurate, but I understand what they were getting at. But if you don't know anything about this book, you're gonna let that movie dictate to you. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm not trying to make any similarities, but I would say go and watch that movie, especially y'all, because you guys are in tune with the spiritual aspect of it. So I'm just looking at like everything out here is trying to play God or want to be God. And I'm realizing that I'm in a religion where my Lord and Savior has actually promised me to be God. So when I see all of these Iron Man and Spider-Man, and I say, man, so everybody want to have a little piece of that Jesus in them, you know?
Yeah, they want some power, which really speaks to, the appeal of those movies is at a is at a base level. People don't realize the appeal is that you want a particular power that will allow you to triumph over your own infirmities and your own weaknesses and you being finite. That's what you want. You subconsciously. That's why that stuff appeals to you. Not you in general. I'm saying it's not specifically, but in general. The idea that you strong, strong like a Superman, like a Hulk, that you not no weakness, that you can't be hurt, because it speaks to our own fears. Right. And when you see that, you identify, you try to identify with those individuals. Oh, I like that power. I like that power. But like you said, I'm trying to be God for real.
For real.
Yeah, God's children of the Most High God. So that's the true power. Well, this is for play players. They said this is nonsense. You got some spider web coming out your arm, man. Please.
And that's the
God
thing,
can
like
create.
Right. So
yeah,
when you are dealing with this word and you are now living with this biblical lens, even when you sit down to watch a movie, you know what I'm saying? You don't see it the way you used to see it.
Oh no.
You know what I mean? And it's hard to even sit there with somebody and watch these movies and not point out things to other people like, yo, that was a subliminal message that, might have gone over people's heads. And then they're looking at you like you crazy. And I'm like, hold on, let me go read something to you so you can see where they get certain things from. Because a lot of entertainment, it stems from here.
Yeah, because that's the best stories ever told are in the Bible. And you'll see throughout history and literature allusions to the Bible, them pulling out things of the Bible, because those, again, what you're reading about is instruction, even through the human stories, not just Torah specifically, but we're telling you what to do and not to do, but the human stories speak to an overall human condition. And so experiences that everybody can identify with throughout time. So those stories of Job, the story of Jesus, the story of David, these are all timeless accounts of what a human being is capable of. And that's what people make entertainment out of. And it also works another way when you think about, for me, if I'm looking at something, okay, growing up, I'll give an example. Growing up, Coming to America was one of my favorite movies. I could tell you every line for Coming to, who gonna clean up all these flowers? I could tell you every line from Coming to America. I can't tell how many times I've watched that movie.
Taste the soup.
Taste the soup. Just taste the soup. Here's the spoon. Aha! I sing. I know all of it.
Hey,
but
part two coming.
What's that? No, I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that. When I saw the preview for Coming to America 2, because in my head it took me back. When I saw the picture, I'm like, they ain't really coming out. When it really came out, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna watch this. And yesterday I saw a clip of the preview. I said, I'm not watching it. I may watch it, but you know why? What I saw, how the queen was acting like Queen Vashti.
Wow.
She was snapping on him, telling him what he wasn't gonna do, what she wasn't gonna do. Like I just saw it from a lens, like, oh, this is I couldn't even I can't enjoy the movie. I remember one time my children says, they're like, man, they didn't say it, but it was like kind of like, yeah, you kind of ruined the movie. Cause I'm looking at it from a different, they're looking at it for entertainment. I'm not saying they were watching Coming to America, it was something else.
Right.
But I find myself looking at it through a different lens, a biblical lens, and I'm like, oh man, this is contrary to the role of what a woman's supposed to be doing. You see what I'm saying? So I just it happens that way too. So to the point where you're looking at everything, you're like, oh man, like I was out shopping today. Where I saw Wayman, I got to call that brother, apologize for kicking him out this meeting. But I was shopping and I kept running into this couple, a tall guy and a little short lady, and man, she was giving him the business, just degrading him in the store. I'm just like, that's vasty.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I don't know, brother. Yeah, but I just think, yeah, and definitely movies. I end with this as far as that. You see all kind of things in movies and in film. You see symbolism, you see the esoteric all over, you know. Um,
Propaganda,
yes. And
inspirational.
we're being programmed by that. We don't even realize it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The symbolism is
Right.
right in front of our face. We don't even understand what we're looking at
Yeah.
Yep.
You
a
know,
lot of times.
Yeah.
I just want to say this. I be telling people, man. I said, y'all don't even look around, man. It's so easy to do the wrong thing. That right there is you got billions of people doing the wrong thing, just wickedness. That's what I'm saying. If yeah, I keep telling the Lord is looking for quality, not quantity. Yeah, yeah, you got all these, you got all of them coming. It's just like that thief on the cross. That, that thief on the cross got more understanding than a lot of these ones sitting up in this church. They don't even understand what he really said. That was brought up to that was brought up. They were like, I said, no one's going to heaven. You're not going to heaven. You can't read that. And I said, what about the thief? I said, y'all ain't pay
Hey,
attention to
remember me
what
when
that
I
thief.
come in that kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said, when? What if I say I'm gonna get $10 million? I gotta give him a point. If I say I'm gonna get $10 million next March, and when I get that $10 million, I'm gonna give you $50,000. Like, oh, you told me you're gonna give me that money next week. I said, when I get it, they don't pay no attention to the big win, big W
Yeah, a lot
W.
of times because you want to read something, so you will make it into something that is not, and that's pretty dangerous. That's what I was saying. As far as what you teaching, it was saying you responsible for it because that worked that way too. You want it to say something that you agree with, so you'll change the word. That's how you get into trouble. Um, anybody else had anything before we?
That
I
that
was
reminds me of brother David. He called me one day. He was having I guess kind of an argument with another guy, and the guy was saying, uh, well, basically they believe in the Trinity.
Uh-huh.
So he told he said he was talking about, man, you don't believe in God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Ghost. And David was telling him, you can't find that anywhere in the Bible.
No.
Man, yes you can, yes you can. So he I think, where is it at in dang, I can't remember what scripture that's in. But Dave told him, okay, well, he put like kind of like a bet, I guess. If you can find that for me and show me that, I'll give you this, and and if you're not right, then you don't have to give me anything. So the guy goes to it, and they're reading it, and the guy's like, his wife is there, and the guy's like, hold on. They read it again. Neither time does it say God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost, and the guy's just stuck, just sitting there like wanting it to change, wanting the words to change right there on the
Yeah.
page.
He reading 1 John 5 and 7 for there are three that bear record in heaven: the Father, the Word, and the
Yeah,
Holy Ghost, and these three are one.
nah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's a big one. They try, like I said, you take that and jump out the window with it, you're gonna hit that ground though.
yeah.
You're gonna hit
I
that
was gonna
ground.
I was gonna say that when I was gonna say that the fear of the Lord makes you consider your time, how much time that you have. Because I can't even like for example, my family always asks me why don't I go out and have fun and do different things like that. I can't even focus on like wasting my time like that just because I'll be so focused on just accomplishing what I'm trying to do. Because I know that it's a short amount of time that you have here, and so I
You
think that
think, bro, you saying that you young, man. Think about the older folks, man. You really know what time, you really know time is short.
yeah,
Keep
yes,
living. Keep
yeah,
living. You, man, you know, you get to about midlife, that little crisis set in. You like, oh, whoa, 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 half of it's gone, or whoa, whoa. If you keep living, half of it's gone.
Yeah.
And you look back, what I done done? Yeah, so that's the thing, man. Forget money. I mean, I ain't saying money ain't important, but time, brother.
These people think they living too. This ain't living. Yeah, and especially for a Hebrew, or so well, watch so-called black man. Shoot, I mean, this ain't living. We lucky to see. You lucky to see. Shoot, I say I push it up a little bit. You lucky to see 25 nowadays. And then get to see past 40. What was that one that died? What he was a little bit he was about our age. Elijah, what was his name? The actor. What he was about? What, 43?
Bozeman.
Bozeman.
Yeah. That ain't living. You must think they living.
Yeah, what Jesus say? He said, "My time is not yet. Your time is always."
Always ready.
Yeah, your time is always ready. Yeah, it's not my
I was
time.
gonna say that
yet.
too.
So it's just with that, it's
Yep.
you put it in perspective for you. Especially like I said, you get older. When you young, and I heard this explained. I said, man, when you young, let's say you 5 years old, and a year seems like a long time because that's 1/5 of your life. But when you get 37, that's 1/37 of your life. So the time seems like it's going quicker and quicker and quicker, but it's not. It's still 365 days in a year. But from that perspective, that year going, and you get older, the time go quicker, and before you know it, you out of time. You that shadow that continue or not.
Right.
So I don't know if anybody else had anything.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, brother Austin, he took it from my mouth about the time, but I think forming holy habits is a good solution too, because the way we spending our time, if we spending it by studying more and trying to apply what we learning, that's a great way to spend time and changing our environment. I know when I get away from people who's in the world, it'll influence your thinking, and then you might end up doing something you might later regret. So having a good environment, or even being in solitude, is better than being surrounded with people that's just lost. And especially with family and friends, it'll destroy you quick.
I agree.
Yeah, that's
did you, Brother Mo, you live here in Atlanta, Georgia?
Yes. Well, I'm in Hampton. I'm in the South Side.
Yeah, I know that area.
Yes, sir.
I play a lot of golf over there, Crystal Lake.
Yeah, it's pretty over there. Yeah.
So I'm right out here in the area, man. We should try to hook up.
What city you in? What part of Atlanta?
I'm in Johns Creek.
Oh, you on the other side? Yeah, you on the rich side? Yeah, I know where you at.
My office is over in Conyers, though.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Well, that's where I'm at most of the time.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Sound good, man. Definitely.
I'll send you my number and stuff, man.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
There
you go.
I didn't even and I knew you was in Georgia. I knew you was in Georgia. It never clicked that y'all was close for some reason. For some reason.
I just put it in the chat for you.
Gotcha.
Direct message to you.
Yeah. Cool.
Hey, Elijah. Like I say, I don't know. Like I say, since we close, we gotta pick. Pick one of these days. Lord's will. We know you're a busy man, and we go to this gun range, man. What you talking about, man? That's a little hobby of mine.
Brother. Hey, we got a place out here. I don't know what you got down there. Like, what kind of range y'all got down there?
We got the indoor, but I want to
go to outdoor range.
Yeah.
I feel. We got a nice indoor one out here in Merrillville.
Top Shot.
What's that?
Top Shot. I think that's what it's called.
Oh, is it?
That ain't the name of
no,
it.
shoot point blank. Shoot point blank.
I'm like, what are you talking?
Yeah, I'm getting the one that Terre Haute mixed up with that.
The one in Ben Harbor. Yeah, the one in Ben Harbor called that. Yeah.
Shoot point blank.
Oh, point blank or something like that.
Yeah. What You want to go to outside range? You got a rifle? You got some rifles?
No, yeah, I'm about to give me a AR, the AR pistol, because
Okay.
you
They
know,
about to
it's
get rid of
covered
that.
in the pistol license. You can carry it, like you know, like, but even though I would be something that you know that
That'd be
I
crazy.
just want to see what I want to shoot my handgun out. I just like the outside feel, you know. It just I don't know, feel better outside. I did some training when I was doing the armed security. Man, that outdoor man was on point. I
Mm.
mean, I'm gonna give me another 9 because that 10 millimeter got so much kick. Even though I'm accurate with it, but it got so much kick. I'm gonna give me another 9 in this AR
Okay.
pistol. Just you know, like collecting, shooting. You know,
You like to
and
collect
try.
from that?
You got a SIG? It's the 10.
Huh?
What is a 10?
The 10 millimeter,
No,
Glock 20.
oh, it's
I'm a
not.
Glock. And I only do Glocks. And even though it's some nice other guns out there, I don't like the ones with all that safety. Glock, shoot. Stop and shoot. You know what I mean?
He sound like that safety.
You know how many people I know that when they shouldn't be having anyway. But so I got some brothers, I can't say no name, but some brothers that almost lost their life because they got their safety was on, you know. But I don't do that.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
about
like that.
seconds when it comes to situations. Who got
Right,
the
right.
drop on who?
Right.
You trying to find your gun, you know already lost.
Yeah.
What you saying, brother Albert?
Oh no, he said he liked the AR pistol. I was assuming he liked the folding stock. Is that why you were talking about an AR pistol?
Yeah. No, I just wanna try something, you know, try a rifle, see what I can do with a rifle. Like I said, I'm a Glock fan. I like Glocks. I'm gonna collect all the Glocks. Then I'm gonna add to it. I'm gonna get the shotgun, pistol grip shotgun, you know, just to add. But I always gotta get a bigger safe because my wife won't let me. She won't. If I buy another gun, I gotta get a bigger safe. Because you know, of course, because of the kids. Even though they know not that's two things they don't touch.
Yeah,
Uh,
let's change that though.
Daddy cabinet and daddy gun.
Yeah, but yeah, gun safety is important, training is important. But yeah, maybe one day, brother, if you I know the summer coming up, so
Right.
yeah, for sure.
I'm waiting on my permit now.
Are they letting you have something in Jersey? What you getting, a slingshot? You know, they don't be
the
playing in
next
Jersey.
I'm gonna be the next David, man. You know.
That slingshot ain't no joke though.
No. But I put one in for the permit and rifle, so I'm looking at start off with a handgun or something. You know.
Yeah, start off. You know what you need, don't you?
No.
You need a revolver.
Get
You
your
laughing?
No. Tell me why. Tell me why I only need 6 shots.
Okay. So first of all, I don't know how we got on this, but a gunfight ain't gonna be long.
Facts.
Usually, and number two, a revolver is reliable.
Mm.
It ain't gonna jam on you. Your first pistol should be a revolver. And you
Snub
go from
nose.
there.
Okay.
Not too snub nose.
Bosco James.
I didn't say snub nose. He said snub nose. No, you don't need no snub nose. You don't need no. No, you don't need to get you up, man. Get you a revolver.
No, blocks don't jam, man. You can bury them in the mud, take them out, and then shoot. They'll still shoot them. Man, I don't know. Them blocks pretty reliable. You ain't got no block.
Mine did.
Elijah.
Wait. Stop for a second. What you say, brother?
I said mine did.
Wait, what? Say what?
My Glock jam.
His Glock jam.
What Glock you got? Who will you?
It's a
What kind of mud would you in?
It's the 40.
What's the Glock?
I mean, in Terre Haute, the trenches, man. It's the trenches out here.
You have
Hold on, no, wait.
aluminum
Because see, some of
shells.
y'all get mixed up these other raggedy guns with the Glock. Do yours actually say Glock on it?
He got a generic.
Yeah,
He want for Glock. It was for generic.
My mind was
Glock is a brand.
It's
Got the block.
It's a police. It's a police issue. It's a 22. It's a Glock 22.
Was it
Glock 22.
were you using
You
brass
must don't keep yours clean. When the last time you cleaned?
when you were shooting?
I've never.
I
cleaned.
thought you could just drop it in mud.
No, you can't. But listen, I cleaned I had my gun for years. I cleaned it one time, but he like say you still gotta take like a revolver, drop it into the dirt, drop a revolver in the dirt and see if it's gonna work.
Where's all this dirt and mud coming from? Listen, brother, I'm just telling you, man. Revolver.
Damn.
What's
Revolvers
that?
don't jam. No,
No,
revolvers
brother, it's
don't
not
jam.
gonna jam,
So
man.
he must got a Beretta or something.
I was asking what ammo was he using?
I think I had
Aluminum.
Oh, you saying Glocks don't jam?
I seen aluminum jam.
Never heard
Aluminum
of that.
ammo.
it was
Okay, I'm still waiting on that revolver to jam.
I think it was brass. It was like the target rounds.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, and yeah, but I got federal now though, so I haven't shot that.
How did jam? You talking about one of the little one of the little heads got stuck in the little hole, the little thing right there?
Okay, I'm telling you what you need to do.
I know he did.
He said, you heard what he said now. The little thing got jammed, a little hole right there. I'm telling you, your first pistol should be a revolver.
If you put too many bullets in that clip and you put too many bullets or you overload it the wrong way, it'll just get stuck in the head, but you can just flick that out and keep shooting. Every time I know.
All right, now, I ain't gonna say nothing else. You know, you can flick that out. If somebody got drawn down on you and you talking about you can just flick that out, I'm telling you what you need, brother.
Oh, it's because he didn't do something right.
Let me say this. I'm not saying not to get a Glock or not to get something else, but what I am saying is that starting out, you knowing you got something, because you just learning about firearms, I'm assuming, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't even have a firearm. Get you a pistol. Get you a 38 or something like that, and just something basic, and go from there.
Right.
Go from there, and you'll look up. You'll look up.
Where you at?
You'll be like, man, I want to go to the range and shoot whatever other firearm you got,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you don't have to take my advice, obviously, but that's what I would say.
I'm in Terre Haute, Indiana.
What is that?
That's down south in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, it's near Indianapolis.
Boonies.
I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to make a trip down that way, man. I'm coming to Dallas. I know that's pretty close. Is that close to Dallas anywhere?
Dallas? No, it's Indiana. Terre Haute is Indiana. It's Indiana.
Oh, well, that ain't that far from me. How
Wait a minute, man. You went from Texas to.
Down there this summer, but how far is Terre? Text that to me. I bet it ain't that far. I might come and show you how to use that thing, boy.
You're gonna be flicking that thing out.
I'm gonna be right. I'm gonna clean it up for him. I'm showing him.
I appreciate it.
Doing something right.
Oh man.
Where you at?
That's funny.
I'm in Ben Harbor.
You need a gun.
Man.
Straight up.
He ain't lying. These cats out here don't change.
Yeah.
It's just the grace of the Most High that keep me. I have no problem. I have more peace than ever. More peace.
Praise
peace of mind. People, you can't even buy a peace of mind.
No, it's not for sale. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna have to go to the range one day. But
Yeah.
let me say this, and then we can get out. Make sure you got some ammo.
Who, me? Oh,
No. I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about
oh.
you. I'm talking about Brother Willie. Cause a lot of times you buy a gun, you're like, yeah, I got this gun, and you got one box of ammunition. Like that ain't.
Right.
That was me. That was me.
Yeah.
Put it online. You get a lot.
Need ammunition, and ammunition. Some ammunition is scarce, So
Mhm.
if you're going to go into the range, make sure you got something to replenish what you had. And a
Mhm.
rule of thumb for people who have, well, a rule of thumb is 1,000 rounds at least minimum.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's
What they say, you're as good as your last bullet or something like that. So,
I'm just telling you what it is, brother.
That's
Because
that.
when you look up, like it's been certain times with gun owners, and there's certain times you look up, you can't get a bullet from nowhere.
Right.
mhm.
Damn.
You know,
Yep.
now it's like, especially with that pandemic, things was uncertain in these cities. People were buying up things, buying up all this ammunition, and they price gouge. So
Right.
I think if you got a family, you need to be armed.
Mhm.
And if you are armed, a box of bullets is not really being armed. Because eventually, if it's something really going on, you gonna throw the gun? What you
Right.
gonna? So yeah, just keep that in mind. But you go to the range with that one box and be done in 10 minutes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I thought you go to the range and actually buy rounds there, like use.
I wouldn't. It's gonna cost more.
They hot.
Mm,
They
It's gonna
will
cost more. You got your own. You buy, little outlets on it online. You can find.
and I
got
shoot
you.
a 10 mm, so my bullets are
People that
super
got a
hot.
problem with the gun is the sword of the day. We ain't got no sword made out of steel. We got
Facts.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Brother Willie, check out Ammunition Depot. They really good with ammo, man.
Yeah.
They got a lot for a good bundle.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds
Yeah.
good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go buy the bullets before I get the gun.
For real.
Might as well.
And I'm not saying that, what I was saying too. If you get and we're gonna get off of this, we're talking about guns, but 9mm, that's the most common in the world.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
And get you a 9mm eventually. But I'm just saying, starting out,
Hmm.
get you something, get you comfortable, and then you get comfortable with that revolver, you're gonna want something else.
Mhm.
Right.
But that's just, and I'm gonna say that's somebody who had a lot of experience with firearms told me, and I was like, okay, I went from there. But you don't have to take that. You could do something else.
Hey, Elijah. Oh, you forgot one thing though. With the
Did I forget, or did I just not say it?
oh yeah, I
I
don't
don't know
know
if I forgot. What you gonna say? Maybe I did forget. What you gonna say?
okay, yeah, a revolver is the slowest to load. That's another thing I don't like. But I'ma still give me one though. They all reliable. He right though.
It's a
He is the most
downside to
reliable.
any firearm.
Mm.
It's a
What you say?
downside to any firearm. And you talking about a slow load, it's load as you can have for a revolver that'll make it really quick.
Yeah, speed
Mhm.
loaders.
I've seen them
Yeah,
too.
you can run a quick load.
Drop out, pop back in, and keep
Yeah,
moving.
it just, and that's not the situation you're gonna be. You gonna be in a situation to where somebody got to drop on you or trying to get the drop on you. You want something that's reliable. You walk around with a 22 thing, you're gonna do something. You're gonna mess around, make somebody mad.
Mhm. Well, you brothers you have concealed carry.
I do.
Yeah, I do
Yeah,
too.
I do.
But see, the laws out here in Georgia are very different from up north. You don't need you don't
No.
need that necessarily in Georgia.
You can write gun permit on a piece of paper in Georgia, can't you?
Yeah. We like Texas out here.
Like Texas, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, over here in Jersey, like if someone breaks into your house and bashes your family head in with a bat and decides to turn around and run out the door, you can't shoot them.
Wow.
They got strong castle laws in like Georgia, like Indiana. Indiana's a friendly gun state. Like you think about the contrast in Texas, if there's still a law, I think you can protect your neighbor's property with lethal force. Is that still
somebody
Yeah,
correct?
shot
yeah, I remember that.
killed
Yeah.
the neighbor.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
The guy outside the neighbor's house. Yeah.
Yeah. They walk around with AR-15s in the street in Texas. I mean,
It's Texas.
it's open
And you
carry.
be
Yeah.
and people polite.
Yeah, they very nice.
How you doing, sir? I'm fine. How are you?
Out here
Yeah,
in
never
Georgia,
moved.
they similar, but you
I
don't see
never
the
moved
ARs,
to
but you see a
Jersey.
lot of the handguns and pistols.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Who in New Jersey? I ain't never moving in Jersey. Don't worry
Willie.
about it.
Brother
Willie.
Willie.
Me and
I
Travis.
don't care.
Travis
Been
in
hard.
too.
Yeah, brother. Hey, brother Travis in Jersey too. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're crazy.
I'm around here. You can be out. You could tell somebody to get off your property. You tell them, or they be a threat on your property. Here in Ben Harbor, you can pop them. You tell them they come on your property talking about this, and you tell them to get off, they don't get off. This is like South.
Check the law. Check the law.
Mm-hmm.
Check the law. Make sure you know the law wherever you at. It's different everywhere. Check the law.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and that's your job too. They tell you that.
Yeah.
Illinois, they strict. Oh man.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. You know, I was thinking actually about getting insurance. You know, a type of
Oh yeah, me
gun
too.
owners, but
I thought that was like almost a mandatory thing. It's not. Well, here.
no, it
it's
ain't like a
almost-
car.
It's
Well,
CC,
like it's almost like a car here, man. It's like you
called a
almost
CCA.
have to have insurance for your gun. Like, especially if you shoot it, like you shoot that thing in your house, protecting your house, especially with the laws as strict as they are here, you're gonna need a lawyer to get you out
Yeah,
of
that's what I'm saying.
your
You got
situation.
you got the kind that just you know, that will man, that will
CC,
what'd you
called
say?
CCA. It's called CCA. And it's good to have. You know, I'm glad you said that. Like that, and it ain't number like about $30 a month. But you and like your wife or you and your what's the name, what it is, they give you like $1 million. Like say you killed somebody and you was justified, and they put you in jail. They'll bail you out if you was justified. If you did something dumb or whatever, like they won't. But anyway, if you was justified, they'll pay your bill and get you a high power lawyer, and they'll look out. If it's called CCA or something. I got the paperwork somewhere. I think it's in my safe. But you need to look it up. That is good to have. I'm gonna do that too. I think I'm gonna do it since you said it. It must be. It's good to have.
Yeah, because I think I told this story before, because I had some people, some young boys try to run in my house. You know, so I'm a firm believer in you can't have no frying pan and no baseball bat.
Right.
That ain't gonna do. You walk out there with a golf club. That ain't gonna do. So
It seemed like the president, they're trying to tighten the gun restrictions now as we speak.
look, man, everything this man doing, I can't stand it. I'm just saying, I can't stand nothing he doing. These appointments, I don't like. We're talking about bringing in 800,000 immigrants, and I don't like. I can't rock with that because I know what's gonna do to our people.
Right.
But black people, I don't know. We just lost, man. You know.
It's really sad.
Brother Elbert, you was gonna say something, brother?
Well, I was gonna say Sheila Jackson from Texas introduced she wanted a mandatory gun registration, and it was some you just talked about. Well, anyway, yeah, that Sheila Jackson was talking about a gun registration, and
look, the Second Amendment is the reason why you can keep a semblance of any of the amendments.
Right.
And the Constitution don't talk about, if you want to go according to the Constitution, don't talk about a registry. You could start a militia. Not saying we're gonna start one for the agents that's listening. I'm just saying, according to the Constitution, you know, that gets misconstrued. You know, I've heard when Obama was in office, he's talking about we're not trying to stop people from hunting. It ain't even about that.
Brother Elisha, the other day when you were doing the, I think it was on the Wednesday class when you showed that Purge trailer.
Yeah.
I watched that movie and they were talking about rewriting the Constitution. What do you think about that? Do you think they actually going to try to do something like that?
It's the Constitution, in my eyes, is getting attacked all the time.
Right.
Things that are happening are unconstitutional.
Exactly.
And so I don't think people talk about it being a living document. No, they wrote it and they meant what they wrote.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to change something, you got to go through the processes of amending it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you get rid of a people's ability to protect themselves, you talking about people that are prey,
like anarchy,
that could be oppressed. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was watching this series on the samurai, and one of the warlords, he was trying to unify Japan, and one of the things he did, he invoked the policy. This is back in the day of samurais. He invoked a policy that required all the little people, everyday folks, they couldn't have weapons.
Wow.
I believe that's one of the things Hitler did.
They did it. I think they have a ban in Australia still, don't they?
Yeah, they took all their guns, destroyed them. So that's you think you don't have rights now. The few rights you have is because of the firearm.
Exactly. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So people are ignorant because they don't like guns. They don't understand. Not saying you gotta like a gun, but if something happened to you, you're gonna call somebody with one. You're gonna call the police. What they coming with? They ain't coming with golf clubs.
Right.
Dogs.
They went door to door in 2005 in
New Orleans.
And somewhere else, and they interviewed
confiscated. Yeah,
they interviewed the people that was doing. They was like, I don't know why, they just told us to do it. So that's the biggest thing. Is like you said, the military or the police go along with it.
That's unconstitutional. Brother, they take an oath to the Constitution, they'll be violating. But
that's martial law, right?
When I bought my Mossberg 88 from the gun store, the guy who sold it to me, his dad was a chief of police. And up here in Gwinnett County in Snellville, Georgia, they had got a notification from the White House or somewhere up in DC. They were telling them to go door to door and confiscate people's firearms in Georgia. They just threw that out the window, didn't even acknowledge it.
You got some sheriffs that's not going for that.
Yeah, exactly.
You got a lot of sheriffs, particularly in the South and the West. They're like, man, I ain't doing that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. Crazy, man. It's crazy out here. You better, if you ain't got one, you better get one.
Yeah, they don't try to, it's a little early right now. He got to get these, the equality stuff going on. But give it a little time, things die down a little bit. He might press it. But because people already, a lot of people mad Trump not in office.
Yeah, I know.
And this is the last thing you want to do right now. You talk about division. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read this real quick. Just as headline, I ain't gonna read the whole thing. This is from Christian headlines. This is from this was actually published today. It was it's a 29% of Americans welcome dividing U.S. into politically like-minded regions. That's from a survey from a political science research project. And that just speaks to like how like polarizing certain figures are and how divided the country is.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about it, 29% of people saying, no, it needs to be a division.
Segregation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's bad news.
It's bad.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is what it is, but it's just telling about how a lot of people feel. So, and you got certain states, like we were talking about Texas. Some of their legislators, it says, until recently we have regarded it as too marginal to include in the survey, but state legislatures in Mississippi, Texas, and state GOP leaders in Texas and Wyoming have openly advocated secession in recent months. So that's why they did the survey.
Mississippi?
Huh?
You say Mississippi?
Yeah, I know, right? Mississippi said we want. They like that. People like, go on, we don't want you.
They eating up all the federal tax dollars. Mississippi, Arkansas. Bye.
Now she gonna let them get away with? No, I'm just playing.
I'll be coming out of Arkansas real soon.
She's like, I'm trying to leave too.
Yeah, they.
Hey man, who put dementia in the chat, man? Who talking? I know you're talking about my
Awesome.
president, man.
I don't know who that was.
I don't need the brother. Don't.
I was gonna ask
I don't know
about
who
that.
that was.
They say he said the N word the other day. I said, man,
Yeah.
Just,
that
I think
was crazy.
he just made a mistake. He just misspoke.
Neanderthal is what he was saying.
He was trying to say Neanderthal and said the N word. Is that what happened?
I don't know, but he's been saying Neanderthal minded or thinking or something like that lately.
Yeah, I did. I did hear
blasting
that.
him for that.
I did hear that. Yeah,
Elisha, did you see that article? I think I saw about an hour ago where Trump was saying he want to run for president again in 2024, and he wanted Ivanka to be his his vice president.
Hey, he'll win. But let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. I don't know what's gonna happen when it comes to that, but I know for a fact that a lot of people like that man, and it did. You know, it really depends on what happens in the years, because it's one thing to say you're gonna run. A lot can happen. You might not make it to the next election.
2024, so, right?
Yeah, I still have a hard time believing that all these people voted for Biden, but
yeah, same here.
But to be honest with you, I would think that if Trump was to run again, I'm not saying anything about if he would win or not, but I think that it would be a very dangerous voting process in general. You know what I mean? I would think that it would have to be heavily guarded. They would have to find a whole new way, a whole new system on voting. Like, I think that would change the voting system. If he was to run again, they would not try to allow what just took place to happen again. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
I don't know, but I mean, that's how they've been controlling elections. This has been going on for a long time. He just kind of exposed a lot of what was happening.
They say he was trying to drain the swamp, right?
Yeah, but you know, I just when you have machines like that and things being counted in other countries, all this foolishness going on, I think, you know, it's liable to. You can buy votes, man. Man, I know somebody that they was taking votes. That was their job. Not in this election. I'm talking about this is years ago.
I think they're already like chosen, like before any votes like get in.
Say again, brother.
Like in my opinion, I think they're like already chosen, like before any votes get in.
Well, for the most part, anybody that's up there, the upper echelons of politics.
Yeah.
Because they're not really the ones running the country.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
It's other powers that run countries. It's, you know, economic powers that run countries. You know,
right.
Because it's not a coincidence that you see certain people, like for example, it's certain organizations you had to be a part of, Trilateral Commission, Council on Foreign Relations, certain schools you had to go to. You know, for the most part, I could like. You think about just putting that 10-4 hat back on. When Bush ran against Kerry, the last 4 candidates, 3 of them went to Yale, and 2 of them was in the same Skull and Bones.
Right. Same.
Right.
Yeah.
So they just yielded. They wielded power, rather. They wielded power. You know. So.
Right.
You know, but hey, we look to see which one gonna do something. Neither one of them. Not for you.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna vote for Biden. He showed, man. Biden destroyed a generation of black men with policy. You know. Now, granted, it was some black leaders who they wanted that policy. But you know, one thing I think about being a true leader is that you have to foresee what your policies can do in the future. You know, I think it's not an excuse not to have foresight. You're supposed to have vision. You're supposed to say, hey, I can see down the line what this might do. And you put your trust in that same person. He eulogized in Ku Klux Klan Grand Wizards, and you and now he your man. Now you're like, man, this is crazy. But we'll see. Brother Elba, what you about to say, brother?
Nothing.
You sure?
Because I usually say something.
I thought you was about to say something.
Or nothing, man. I just keep thinking about the next election, and all they got to do is show Sheila Jackson Lee talking about a national gun registry, and then play Emmanuel, what's his name, Emmanuel Cleaver, or whoever that brother was that did the A man and the A woman praying to
Oh
the
yeah.
God. Don't tell me that did it for me. That man's prayer, I can't be associated with it no more. And then that lady's gun registry made it a rap for me. So,
brother, they were man, I can't think of this politician's name. They were arguing the Equality Act, and he said, and one of them, he brought up God. He said this is against God, and he got up and said, man, God ain't got no place in this Senate.
Who, the same brother?
No. I can't. No.
But yeah, man, they didn't went too far. That prayer in the Congress was too much for me at that point.
But I don't know, brother. I just see the louder voices are on the other side. They making all the noise, and they directing the country, while people like you, that's common sense, they quiet.
Well,
I don't know, brother. The pushback, and then the media, man. You look at these news outlets; it's 24/7 nonsense.
Right.
So they push propaganda 24/7. It's to the point now. It's a lot of censorship going on. You go on YouTube, like they probably put something on this video right now.
Right.
Like the vaccine such and such, or if you mention it, because that's that you get, they're basically telling you what to think constantly. So I don't know, brother. I think again, I'm not saying the both for either one of them. You know how I think about it, but at the same time, I look at their policies, and the Democratic policies have not been in our best interest.
Right. Yeah, the one where when Obama was in office, and I don't want to get you flagged, but when he made it where a guy could just say he was a girl and they could go into the girls' locker room back in middle school and high school and stuff.
Okay, so now
too far for me.
Well, Trump was trying to roll that stuff back.
No.
Well, now you look at the appointments of Biden, he's gonna bring that back. That stuff that's coming back. All that's coming back. I got this is an article right now. This is also from Christian Headlines. It says we should be outraged. Senator Grill's nominee over support for giving sex change medicine to children. Okay, so that's one of his the Secretary of Health and Human Services. Now, if confirmed, will be the first transgender individual confirmed by the U.S. Senate. Did y'all see Rand Paul talk to like press Biden's education pick? Because he wants Miguel Cardona, who is in support of again transgender and female sports.
I haven't seen that.
I didn't see that.
Nah, not yet.
Yeah, he was pressing him. He was like, man, we find that to be, unacceptable. It's not fair. He kept saying, because they'll just dodge a question. Well, we just think everybody should have rights. But he's like, how is it fair that a biological male is competing against a female? But that's what he's pressing. That's the education pick. See, that's what I'm saying. So this stuff is about Trump was like a sort of a speed bump to this stuff. But he out the way.
Be turned up a notch.
Yeah. Look at what you're seeing on TV, brother. I saw, and I don't watch a lot of shows. But you know how you're on YouTube, you might be looking at a video and something come up. They got a show where it's a man. I guess they over some. I ain't never seen it. I don't even know what station it come on, but it came up. Man, he got a full beard and he in a dress and he did some club doing something like, what is this? Why did this come up? I'm watching, ESPN. Why is it? What is this?
I was talking to my kids about that years ago, and they said, how did we get from here to here? And I said it was a gradual wearing away. And it is shocking to me how far things have gone. I am shocked by how much men don't speak up. I'm shocked by when women now find some joy as being as raunchy as a man. To be truthful, it seems like our daughters are more rebellious than our sons, and the ministers, like you already talked about in the pulpit, are afraid to tell, because the one lady said something, a black minister, she said something about homosexuality, and they came for her neck, and she recanted. So anyway, these are the things, like I said, the bridge too far was that prayer thing. Yeah, man, anyway, I'm sorry. Y'all see, it was easy when y'all was talking about guns. I could just sit here and laugh, but when y'all went to this other stuff,
yeah, I mean, you keep watching. He's just getting started.
Y'all still got a lot of you brothers that have small children.
Yes, sir.
Only blessing, or I should say blessing, but and only comfort I have is that I was able to watch my kids grow up. And I have, and that's why I worry about brothers still trying to raise their children,
Yeah, it's tough. Because you if you put them in a school, those ideas are gonna be pushed on them. Think about it in Atlanta, the mayor, she was supporting the reading time with transgender men sitting on the kids sitting on their lap.
Yeah. Keisha Lance Bottoms did that. Yeah.
Come on, man. And she just as proud and just we supporting this. I'm like, who are these man? How we following these people across the street? We had such terrible leadership.
I say
he was in the parade they had here.
Yeah, you see the ones reading the children's storybooks up in class. Boy, I'd have been postal in that month. I'm glad.
No, brother, stop. You can't go post. Listen to this, brother. You can't.
You went from guns to post.
Don't do that. Yeah, you can't do that.
I mean, I come there. Just think about this. All right, let's really.
No, we're gonna wait. Stop. We're gonna stop. Stop. You can't do that. You can't do that on here. You can't even suggest that.
No. I ain't finna say nothing bad like that. I'm keep it cool. I'm just saying. All right, I see where you're going. All right.
Yeah, you can't say that.
I just thank the Most High. Okay, I just thank the Most High that I homeschool my kids. I really had to deal with that, but that's just crazy.
Yeah, and I want to say that was in the libraries, so that's a voluntary thing. They were taking their kids voluntarily to have them sit on them men's laps. If it was a man dressed in a 3-piece suit, your kids shouldn't be sitting on their lap.
Right.
Let alone if it's a man dressed like a female. But yeah, we can't speak like that. That brother made me forget what I was about to say.
About raising kids. We were talking about.
Oh yeah. Thank you. It's all in the cartoons. It's all in the schools, and like you said, it was a gradual process. Again, that book After the Ball tells you how they was gonna do it, because it was through desensitization, constantly putting it in your face, right? Then another step is to when they had these characters in film, make them likable, whether it be making them real funny, making them the victim. You see what I'm saying? That was all by design.
Make me the bad guy.
Make you the bad guy. You a bigot. You're saying, I don't agree with that. You understand? And that was all by design. And everybody zipped the lip, and now it's like Sodom and Gomorrah around here.
Exactly. Yes, sir. It's disgusting.
Yeah. So it is. That's unfortunate. But that's what time we living in. And I can't help but to think that it's gonna come a time of reckoning. Where the judgment of the Lord is gonna come on this place, because think about it. I read a report today. There was it was some good news. The Indiana had reduced the number of children that were killed from last year through abortion by a few hundred. But if you think about it, that's such a low standard. You know, it's like 400. I think it was 400 less kids killed through abortion. It's such a low standard of morality. You know, but
I had a partner celebrate that his daughter graduated high school without getting pregnant. I said, man, that ain't nothing.
that ain't no celebration. That should be. Oh my goodness.
That should be like getting A's and B's.
I fell out the chair. I
That's
said,
like tying your shoe. It should be. I mean, you can't. Man, not that she's even a virgin, but that she just didn't get pregnant.
That she didn't get pregnant.
Because they give you birth control in the school.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell your parent. They can give in certain states, man. They can give you all kind of things. You want to transition, they can give you hormones. You ain't got to tell your parent.
Wow.
Dang.
You know, so it's a trying time we living in right now. Straight up. And I would think the only way you could really avoid, you can't avoid it totally, but the only way you probably could, this is brother eating. What you eating, brother?
Got a little piece on deck. That's all that is.
Brother always got something to eat.
He narrow, bro. He look hungry, man.
Nah, he ain't. Hey, that brother getting big.
He's
still growing.
That's what I'm saying.
Got to put on a couple pounds for the summer. That's all that is.
Man, I seen that brother last night. I said, man, what in the world?
Yeah. Next time you see me, it's gonna be.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You get my age, yo, only thing growing you is your stomach.
You get my weight up.
Yeah, I need another pair of pants now. These about done. Nah, but what I was saying was almost like you got to even create your own world. Now I mean like your own community, you know what I'm saying? To where you can do things, you know, where with brethren, where you're not isolated in your own little pocket of the world. Cause brother, this stuff is crazy out here. This stuff is crazy out here. I think about how they had everything in the Bible, how they had everything in common. You know, they were doing a similar thing to that. But yeah, it's unfortunate what's going on out here.
Anything goes in this world.
Anything goes. You right about that. Anything goes. All right, brother. What you say?
I was about to say, you don't want to become a product of your environment, but if you're a good man, you want the environment to become a product of you.
That brother dropping jewels. That should be on a t-shirt. I'm gonna take that one, brother. Say that again, brother.
Say that.
I was saying you don't want to become you don't want to become a product of your environment, but if you're a good man, you want the environment to become a product of you. I just got that from listening to you brothers, sum it up in a little
I'm about
nutshell.
to trademark that, brother.
Facts.
No, that's mine, brother. You gotta get a new one. You gotta get something else.
Get your own.
I got dibs on the next one.
You guys, I got this. I'm gonna make me some money off that. I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt, bumper sticker or something. All right, brothers. Hey, I appreciate y'all, and we're gonna end it. We've been on here about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Some change.
Thank you.
So it's been a blessing, and I appreciate y'all, and I'm gonna call that brother Wayman right now and apologize for kicking that brother. I said, man, who is this? Who? Oh, you don't want to say nothing, huh? Get out. That brother's probably at the crib like, I can't figure out how to speak. Can't get it off of mute. Oh man, y'all gotta call that brother. I saw him today in the store. He got his little cart. He got his little cart number healthy stuff. I said, brother, I need come in this meeting. I should have known it was him. I didn't even think about it being brother Wayman. Man, but I'm gonna call him and y'all brothers. I hope y'all have a good day tomorrow. And Lord willing, I see y'all in Bible study on the Sabbath.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Praise to the Most High.
Yeah, be
Praise
safe.
the
All
Most High.
praise to the Most
Peace,
High.
peace, peace.
Peace,
Peace,
everybody.
everybody.
All right.
Peace.